This is Nightline.
Tonight, the twisted tale of Amanda Knox.
Amanda Knox is a real person, not just an idea of a person.
The case that gripped the world. The American college student accused of murdering her roommate in Italy. What she says really happened under interrogation.
Why would you confess to something you didn't do?
Her new series shedding new light on her harrowing ordeal and teaming up with an unlikely partner.
Of all the people in the world who could reach out to me, knowing what it felt like to be me, absolutely that was Monica.
And the surprising conversation with the prosecutor she once called her hunter.
I wanted to give him the thing that he hadn't given me, which was the benefit of the doubt.
Plus, Ron Howard.
What are you, crazy? Bring a gun? Yeah.
From child actor to Happy Days star to Oscar-winning director, the living legend is back behind the camera.
What drew you to the narrative? It's a true crime thriller.
His new project featuring some of Hollywood's biggest names.
I must inform you that this is not your island. It is my island.
And what he says about his fiery Emmy-nominated spot in the studio.
My cousin died. You stooge, piece of.
That's a lot of bleeping.
And windowless window seats? Class action suits against two major airlines accused of duping passengers into paying extra for a perk they say didn't exist.
From ABC News headquarters in New York, this is Nightline.
Thanks for joining us. Tonight, Amanda Knox with her own story of a brutal murder and her fight for justice. Once swept up in a global media frenzy, now controlling her own narrative, executive producing a series on the traumatic events in 2007 that came close to costing the then college student everything.
Amanda Knox is a real person, not just an idea of a person. Amanda Knox is a mother, a writer, a wife, and doing the best she can with the worst that she's been given.
Amanda Knox says what she was given was more than 2 decades of being prosecuted and persecuted. She says she's here to set the record straight.
You've been quoted as saying that you're still, all these years later, fighting a wrongful conviction.
This is a universal experience for wrongly convicted people. Is like once the accusation is there, it never goes away. You have to figure out how to not feel diminished and trapped by this experience and instead propelled and uplifted by it.
She was the American studying abroad in Italy, a junior from the University of Washington. But just weeks into her semester, it all fell apart.
The house she chose turned into a murder scene.
Much has been said about Amanda, and is she capable of murder?
Her British roommate, 21-year-old Meredith Kircher, found raped and brutally murdered in their apartment in Perugia, her throat slashed. Police honing in on Amanda and her boyfriend of 8 days, Raffaele Sollecito. She says she was badgered by authorities in a grueling interrogation that lasted 53 hours over 5 days, which ended with her falsely claiming under duress that she'd been at the scene as Meredith was being murdered.
I'm sleep deprived, I'm isolated, I eventually get yelled at, I am being lied to, I'm being hit. It is going on and on and on until I am led to believe by the police that I have witnessed the crime, but I don't remember it. But if I want to be a collaborator with the police, I need to remember it right now. And then hours later, I recant and I realize that it was all a big mistake, but by then, it's too late.
That mistake would haunt her for years. Her fight for freedom sparking a frenzy. Amanda caught in the crush of media attention, changing her life forever. Now, the saga, an 8-part series, Grace Van Patten stepping into the role of Amanda.
I had no idea that my dream...
Hello? Anybody home?
...was about to become a nightmare.
Meredith?
Oh my God.
For the twisted tale of Amanda Knox, one of the executive producers, Amanda herself.
The American girl killed the British one. No. 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 Yes. She confessed.
Her perspective shows an investigation that rushed to judgment. Her every move, like those kisses at the crime scene, dissected and often criticized. She spoke to Diane Sawyer about it years later in her first interview.
I felt very lost very alone and very vulnerable.
Vulnerable.
My friend had been murdered, and it could just have easily been me.
The series not shying away from those seemingly awkward, puzzling behaviors.
I don't look back on those years and those moments and cringe, because I'm a little more kind to myself than the world was. But yes, there are moments where, like, Amanda, me, was so oblivious and so naive and just had no idea, because until the worst experience of your life happens to you, you're not ready for it. You're not prepared for it.
Now an advocate for the wrongfully convicted with the Innocence Center. Knox partnering on the series with none other than Monica Lewinsky, who produced her own story on a season of American Crime Story.
Hi, handsome.
Hey.
The former White House intern, whose affair with then-President Bill Clinton touched off a similar media circus, now helping Amanda reclaim her narrative.
Of all the people in the world who could reach out to me, knowing what it felt like to be me and who could give me guidance, absolutely, that was Monica.
Who would know what it's like to be in the middle of a global media firestorm?
Right.
Amanda hopes to bust the true crime genre, blending facts with her own quirky touch.
The thing that we've accomplished with this is breaking the mold of true crime and breaking the mold of biopic, and really allowing a more personal and a more creative approach, like really showing that they are not just characters, they are real people, and there are consequences for how we consume stories about real people.
The tabloid's fervor splashing her story across front pages, twisting her childhood nickname, Foxy Knoxy. The prosecutor leaned into a sex orgy gone wrong theory, the media branding Amanda a killer.
Why would you confess to something you didn't do?
There is a process that police use to break you down, and one of the most fundamental pieces of that process is they lie to you. I was so young and I was speaking a foreign language and they're yelling at me like I was completely alone.
Europe's Human Rights Court later ordered Italy to pay Amanda roughly $20,000 in damages for failing to provide legal assistance and an independent interpreter.
What was it like walking onto these sets, recreating the most traumatic moments of your life?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Are you kidding me?
Was it triggering?
It was actually like I felt honored, because here were all these hundreds of people working to recreate these spaces so they could finally get this story right.
Amanda and Raffaele were both convicted for Meredith's murder, as well as a third man, Rudy Gudet, whose DNA was found all over the crime scene and served 13 years for the murder. Amanda spent 4 years in an Italian jail before being acquitted on appeal and set free. Her return to America playing out on live TV.
Thank you to everyone who's believed in me, who's defended me, who's supported my family.
But Knox's relief would be short-lived. In 2014, she was reconvicted, thanks to determined prosecutor Giuliano Menini. But 7 years after the murder, Italy's highest court definitively clearing her name on the murder charges in 2015. In 2022, she returned to Italy to face the man she refers to as her hunter, that same prosecutor once determined to keep her behind bars.
For me, it was really important because he had been the boogeyman my entire adult life. I wanted to really genuinely understand why he did this to me, and I wanted to see if there was any way that reconciliation was possible.
What did you get out of your meeting with the prosecutor?
I walked away with my own freedom. I finally took it back.
What did you give him?
I wanted to give him the thing that he hadn't given me, which was the benefit of the doubt.
In a 2022 interview with The Telegraph, that prosecutor said of Knox, "We have different ideas about the trial that involved us, but now I have a good opinion of her." Amanda also reuniting with her former flame and co-defendant, Raffaele, posing together at the premiere of the series.
He's doing so great now. Of course, he's had to confront his own version of this, right? Of being the guy who was accused of being Amanda's puppet and and also doing so in Italy.
Absent the family of Meredith Kercher, whose sister told The Guardian recently that she found it difficult to understand the purpose of the new show.
If you could, what would you say to them?
I would say to them that I hope they watch the show and that I hope that we can finally one day reach each other and understand each other and reconcile, because we have so much in common. And what the tragedy of what befell Meredith, you know, had tragic implications in my life as well.
Now a married mother of 2, Amanda is still in the process of rebuilding her life and says it's her children who propel her.
I'm trying to create a world that's going to be kinder to my daughter than it was to me. And so this project is in part an attempt to do that.
For much more on this story, be sure to catch Search for the Truth, the Amanda Knox story, airing this Friday night on ABC and streaming the next day on Disney Plus and Hulu. Up next, we're one-on-one with Ron Howard, the inside track on his talent-charged new movie and his Emmy-nominated meltdown on The Studio.
You! My cousin died. You stooge! Piece of...
From beloved TV star to one of Hollywood's most respected directors, Ron Howard is one of our best-known storytellers. And now he's back with Eden. It's an edge-of-your-seat survival thriller set in the Galapagos that explores that very thin line between civilization and absolute chaos.
Yes, it does.
Living legend Ron Howard, thank you.
A pleasure to be here.
Well, I have to tell you, I had a crush on both you and the Fonz in
Wow.
your Happy Days runs.
I'm gonna teach you the secret of being tough. Wow, you don't think I could ever learn that? Who told you to talk? I'm sorry, Fonz. That's the secret. What? I think I missed it.
Yeah, good guy, bad guy.
Yeah.
But also you were before that a child actor.
You gave the large, generous amount of 3 cents. My, that is big of you, Diamond Jim.
Did I give him too much, Paul?
The Andy Griffith Show was well known, movies like The Music Man and Courtship of Eddie's Father, so I grew up around it.
Totally. And so how did that early fame shape this part of your
Well,
career?
2 things. Almost all of the directors on The Andy Griffith Show had been actors. So they were beginning to kind of inculcate me with this idea that I bet you're going to wind up growing up being a director. I love the environment. I love the creative energy of it. And then when I was around 12, what really happened is I fell in love with movies.
And of course, we have fallen in love with your movies, everything from Apollo 13.
So you're telling me you can only give our guys 45 hours? That brings them to about there. Gentlemen, that's not acceptable.
To Frost Nixon, you won Academy Awards for A Beautiful Mind, and you also have multiple Emmys and that Grammy. You're one away from an EGOT. We're keeping count just on your behalf. What do you think is the common thread, if there is one, to all of your narratives?
Well, you know, stories. I love the medium. I'm curious. I'm intrigued by environments. I'm intrigued by the themes that they provide, you know, the tests that they can put their characters through, or the tests that characters can put each other through.
And there are a lot of those tests in this latest film. It's called Eden. It feels like a bit of a departure. It's creepy. It's dark.
Oh,
it's set in the 30s in the Galapagos. But first, let's take a look at the clip.
I want you off my island. If you don't go by your own free will, I will personally throw you in shackles and drag you off myself.
Shut up! Baroness! Huh? As tempting as it is to be tied up, I must inform you that this is not your island. It is my island.
So our island says who?
I discovered this story about 15 years ago, literally on a family vacation in the Galapagos.
And what drew you to the narrative?
Well, it's an infamous story there. It's a true crime thriller. This one was like this sort of perfect blend of individuals, hopes, dreams, personalities. I mean, look, if a reality show producer was trying to build a season of Survivor or some show like that, you know, they would come together with these kind of people who are just destined to clash.
Absolutely. And it's a little bit Survivor. It's a little bit Lord of the Flies meets White Lotus. Speaking of White Lotus, Sydney Sweeney is in your cast, and she's one of the hottest actresses around right now, and yet you got a very unglamorous, very raw performance out of her.
Well, she has that capacity. She has this creative ambition, and she's you know, they all went at this with a kind of intensity and ferocity, but they were a great team and a great ensemble.
You are known to today's younger generations as a director, but you're also a great actor still. Your performance in the studio, earning an Emmy nomination.
Well,
Let's take a look at a clip of that one.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with me.
You want a note, Ron? I'll give you a note. You made a great film that you are ruining with this self-indulgent motel bullshit.
You! My cousin died. You stooge, piece of.
Your dead cousin deserves much better than to be honored in the form of a boring movie, man.
You, listen to me, because I will never, ever.
That's a lot of bleeping. Oh, it was a blast. It was so well written. And no, I don't throw my hat at people or use that kind of language at people. But
good, I won't be nervous.
No, what a but the hat throw was my idea. I'm very proud of that.
Oh, that's a good.
Yeah, the script was very well written. But I thought, well, what's the most petty, ridiculous thing this director, this out of control, egomaniac director, could possibly do? You know, just throw his hat at somebody he's mad at.
That's amazing. This is also a reminder that you come from a family of creatives. Your parents were notable actors. Your brother, your daughter, Bryce Dallas Howard, was in Jurassic World.
What is that supposed to mean?
It means I'm ready to go.
As well as The Help. How does all that creativity inform your storytelling?
Well, my dad and mom really broke the mold. They believed in this idea that they could go do something no one in the family had ever done, be in show business, be in the movies.
Yeah.
And they did it. My dad also wrote, as I said, he also directed. I think he instilled that excitement and curiosity in the medium, the process. And Bryce has discovered that same excitement either as an actor or a producer, and she's also directing a lot now. And this movie, Eden, was just an opportunity for that because it was a low-budget film. It was a labor of love project for everyone involved. And I'm so proud of the way the cast rose to the occasion.
It is a who's cast.
Yeah.
You really got a lot out of your actors. Thank you so much
for
being here. Great to talk to you. And Eden is in theaters nationwide this Friday.
And when we come back, airlines hit with class action lawsuits from passengers who say they paid for windows and got walls. And finally tonight, ever pay for an airline upgrade and not get what you expected? United and Delta Airlines facing class action lawsuits. Some passengers say they paid extra for window seats, only to find themselves in an end seat next to a blank wall. And they're suing for millions. The lawsuit claims there was no mention of the windowless window seats during booking, and passengers say they wouldn't have paid the upcharge if they'd known they'd be looking at a wall instead of the friendly skies. Neither airline has responded to ABC News' request for comment. And that's Nightline for tonight. You can watch all of our full episodes on Hulu. We'll see you right back here same time tomorrow. Thanks for staying up with us. Good night, America.